This isn't self-help advice. It's a warning about the invisible war happening inside your mind right now. What I'm about to show you will permanently change how you see every conversation, every advertisement, and every relationship you have. 73% of people are being psychologically manipulated daily, and they have no idea it's happening. You're probably one of them. By the end of this video, you'll stop being an easy target for manipulation. You'll start recognizing the dark patterns before they work on you, and you'll become someone who can't be controlled. But I need to warn you, once you know these techniques, you'll see them everywhere. The veil gets lifted. There's no going back to ignorance. You'll realize how many people have been playing chess while you've been playing checkers. Stick around, because what you don't know is already being used against you. I've broken this down into 3 critical parts. Part 1. The 7 deadly patterns, the exact psychological weapons being used on you daily. Part 2. The dark truth. Nobody wants to admit why good people become manipulators. Part 3. The immunity protocol, how to become psychologically bulletproof. By the end, you'll have the ability to spot manipulation in under 10 seconds, mental armor against the most sophisticated tactics, and the power to flip the script on anyone trying to control you. Let me tell you about Emma. She thought she'd found her soulmate. Within 3 weeks, he knew every insecurity she had, every childhood trauma, every secret fear. She thought they were connecting. He was data mining. Here's what dark psychologists know that you don't. The fastest way to control someone is to become their emotional safe space first. They use a technique called forced intimacy acceleration. It works like this. They share a calculated, vulnerable story about themselves, usually fake or exaggerated. Your mirror neurons fire. You feel compelled to match their vulnerability. Suddenly, you're telling a stranger your deepest secrets. Quick test. Has someone ever made you feel like you've known them forever after just one conversation? That's not chemistry. That's technique. But here's where it gets interesting. You know that moment when someone makes you question your own memory. That's not what happened. You're being too sensitive. I never said that. Psychologists call this gaslighting, but dark psychologists have evolved it into something far more sophisticated. They don't just deny reality. They systematically reconstruct it. They plant small seeds of doubt, reframe past events, slowly adjust your perception until black looks white and up feels like down. The scariest part, your brain actually rewrites memories to match their version. Neural plasticity works against you. If you've ever left a conversation feeling crazy or confused about something you were certain about, you've experienced this. But wait, there's a catch. Think back to your most toxic relationship. Notice the pattern? Amazing highs followed by crushing lows. That wasn't passion. That was programming. Dark psychologists use something called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes gambling addictive. They give you just enough approval to keep you hooked, then withdraw it to make you desperate. Your dopamine system gets hijacked. You become addicted to their validation. They control your emotional temperature like a thermostat. Have you ever noticed how some people can make you feel on top of the world one day and worthless the next? That's not mood swings. That's methodology. If this is hitting close to home, hit that like button right now. It tells me you're ready for the deeper stuff. What nobody tells you is. Here's something that will blow your mind. The most effective prison has no bars. It's built from your own thoughts. Dark psychologists don't need to control your actions. They just install limiting beliefs. You're lucky to have me. Nobody else would understand you. You're not capable of that. These become your invisible fence. You police yourself. They don't have to lift a finger. Ask yourself this. What beliefs about yourself did someone else install? What limitations do you accept that someone else defined? The real power comes when. Remember in school when everyone suddenly liked something you thought was stupid? That wasn't coincidence. Someone engineered that. Dark psychologists weaponize our tribal instincts. They create false consensus, manufacture social proof, make you feel like the outsider for not agreeing. They'll say things like, everyone thinks, people are saying. It's common knowledge that studies show we'll ignore our own senses to fit in with the group. The Ash conformity experiments proved people will say a short line is longer just because others said so. Sound familiar? Every time you've gone along with something that felt wrong because everyone else was doing it, you fell for this. But here's the dark side. Would you like to meet at 7 or 8? Notice something. You never agreed to meet at all. Dark psychologists are masters of the false choice. They give you options within their frame, making you feel in control while they steer the outcome. It's not just scheduling. They do this with your entire reality. Are you upset because of work stress or something I did? Maybe you weren't upset at all. Should we handle this privately, or do you want everyone to know? That's an implied threat. Your brain, seeking efficiency, picks from the given options instead of questioning the premise. Think about it. How many choices in your life were actually someone else's framework? Here's what they don't want you to know. This is the nuclear weapon of dark psychology. They don't just change what you do, they change who you are. It starts subtle. You're not like other people. You're too sensitive. You're so dramatic. Slowly, these labels become your identity. You start acting to confirm them. Psychologists call it the self-fulfilling prophecy, but dark practitioners call it identity installation. Once they've installed an identity, they can predict and control your behavior. You'll act consistent with who you think you are. What labels do you accept about yourself that someone else gave you? Studies have shown that simply telling students they're math people or not math people changes their actual performance by up to 40%. Now, this next part will shock you. Pause for a second. How many of these patterns have you experienced? More importantly, have you ever used them yourself without realizing it? Comment below which pattern hit you the hardest. I read every single comment and it helps me know what resonates with you. See, here's the uncomfortable truth. But there's a dark side to learning this. Once you understand these patterns, you hold tremendous power. And power without wisdom creates monsters. I've seen good people learn these techniques and become the very manipulators they feared. They justify it. I'm just protecting myself. They did it first. It's for their own good. Here's what separates protection from predation: intent and consent. Using these techniques to recognize manipulation, that's survival. Using them to control others, that's becoming the monster. The hidden cost. Knowledge of dark psychology changes you. You'll see manipulation everywhere, even where it doesn't exist. Paranoia can poison genuine relationships. Some of my students have reported inability to trust anyone, seeing threats in normal behavior, destroying good relationships from suspicion, and becoming manipulative themselves. The question becomes, how do you protect yourself without losing your humanity? Here's the answer nobody talks about. Let me show you the immunity protocol, 7 defensive techniques that will make you untouchable. Technique number 1, the pattern interrupt. When you sense manipulation, break the flow. Ask unexpected questions. Change topics abruptly. Take unexpected actions. Manipulators need momentum. Deny them that. Next conversation. If something feels off, suddenly ask about something completely unrelated. Watch their reaction. Technique number 2, the gray rock method. Become boring. Manipulators feed on emotional reactions. Give them nothing. Short answers. No drama. No supply. They'll move on to easier targets. For one day, respond to potential manipulation with maximum boringness. Watch how quickly they lose interest. Technique number 3, the reality anchor. Keep a journal. Document conversations. Trust your memory. When someone tries to distort reality, you have receipts. Your written record becomes your anchor. After important conversations, write down what was actually said. You'll be shocked how often others remember it differently. If you're finding this valuable, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I drop game-changing content like this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Technique number 4, the boundary fortress. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. Every explanation is a doorway for manipulation. Practice saying no without adding reasons. It feels uncomfortable because we're programmed to over-explain. Technique number 5, the time buffer. Never make important decisions in the moment. I need to think about it. Buys you space. Manipulators create false urgency. Real opportunities can wait. Any decision involving money, commitment, or major change gets a 24-hour cooling period. No exceptions. Technique number 6. The support network check. Run situations by trusted friends. Manipulators isolate you because outside perspectives break their spell. If someone discourages you from talking to others, red flag. Identify 3 people you trust. Tell them you're learning about manipulation. Ask them to call out any concerning patterns they see. Technique number 7. The identity shield. Write down who you are, your values, your boundaries, your non-negotiables. Review it regularly. This becomes your armor against identity attacks. Write 10 statements starting with "I am" based on your definition, not others' labels. Look, knowing these patterns gives you power. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Sorry, had to say it. You're not like most people who stay blind to these tactics. You've chosen awareness. But awareness without wisdom creates cynics. Wisdom without compassion creates predators. The goal isn't to become untouchable. It's to become uncontrollable while staying human. Use these techniques to protect yourself and loved ones. Recognize when you're being played, help others escape manipulation, and build genuine, balanced relationships. Not to manipulate others for their own good, become paranoid about every interaction, lose the ability to trust, or turn into what you fear. You're ready to see the world as it really is. Not everyone can handle that, but you're not everyone. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, share this with someone who needs protection, someone who's being manipulated but doesn't see it, someone who deserves to be free. Like this, if you're committed to using this knowledge ethically. Comment which pattern surprised you most. I read every single one, and it helps me know what to cover next. And subscribe with notifications on, because I'm dropping the advanced course on defeating narcissistic manipulation next week. And trust me, if you think this was intense, you're not ready for what's coming. Remember, you're not just learning psychology. You're joining a movement of people who refuse to be controlled. Stay vigilant, stay human, stay free. I'll see you in the next one.